you're chilling on your computer making your 3D scene, when all of a sudden, this could happen when rendering, switching tabs, baking sims, or anything else like that. Now, even though you have a trash computer, this shouldn't be happening if you have your scene optimized. Most people on YouTube show you how to optimize your render settings, but no one really shows you how to optimize your actual scene. Today, I'm going to take you through 5 of the most important steps you need to take to optimize your scene. Let's get started. Number 1. This is the most basic step you need to take to optimize your scene. It isn't optimizing per se, but it does help you get rid of all the useless clutter that's just lying around. Organize your collections. For your lights, new collection, characters, collection, foreground, collection, and so on and so forth. Chances are, when you're done organizing your outliner, there'll be bits and pieces left that just don't fit anywhere. These are usually things that you import or use during the progress of your scene, but then by the end you're not really using them and they're just there, just hogging precious resources with their poly counts and texture maps. Get rid of them. What I sometimes do is I make a new collection called Archive, in which I move all the extra objects that I have, and then I hide it. That way it's not making a mess in my scene, and I can always go back to it in case I need them again. And if not, at the end I can just delete them and optimize my scene even more. Number 2. Cleanup. Getting rid of any unnecessary geometry that you have in your scene. For example, if you have your camera angle fixed and you can't see something in your framing, then there's no point of having it. So just select it and delete it. You can also use camera culling for similar results. Alternatively, if you have lots of objects in your background, you can render them out separately and import them back as a plate, or add them later in post. Number 3. Viewport and render settings. Now, if you've done everything, but you're still crashing or running out of memory, there's still a few more things you can do. For this, we need to tweak some things in our render settings. Start off with using the Simplify button. When you check this, you can restrict the amount of subdivisions, the volume density, the texture density in both your viewport and your final render. Also, if you guys are interested in optimizing your actual render settings and making your renders even faster, let me know and I'll make an in-depth tutorial for that as well. Number 4. Purging. Often while making your scene, you import and create different things, different materials, objects, node setups. You append things from your asset browser and experiment with a whole bunch of stuff. By the end of your creation process, you haven't used half the things that you initially imported at one stage in the process. Now, all of these things are still in your project file, hidden away and just bogging your project down. To get rid of this, go into your outliner and click on Orphan Data. Then click on Purge, and this tells you exactly how many objects, textures, node setups exist in your project file, and these are not being used, which means for you it's just trash. Get rid of it. And that's it. Hopefully now your scene should be fully optimized and you should be ready to continue with your creation process. But wait, number 5, bonus. What if you've done all of the above and still having problems with performance? There's still one thing that you can try. Now, this isn't something that comes stock in Blender. It's an add-on that I've been using to save up on memory. It's called MemSaver by Polygonic. All it does is prioritize which textures are closer to the camera and therefore need higher resolution textures, and which are further in the background and so do not require the high resolution texture maps. Let's say you downloaded a bunch of models and objects and they come with 4K textures. You don't need 4K textures for everything. You don't need 4K textures back here, and unless you want to go into each map and tediously downscale them manually, you're stuck with them. And you don't want to apply a blanket limit either to all of your textures, as that will just reduce the render quality for your foreground objects. So what MemSaver does is it automatically downscales your textures from your camera's perspective. So this is a huge memory saver. Speaking of MemSaver, if you guys are interested in what other add-ons I use and that I cannot live without, click here. And if you liked my medieval scene that I made with Rococo, click here for the full cinematic. See ya!